Okay, Wythenshawe Sale, Jeremy Corbyn, give him a massive welcome. We have 30 days to get rid of this austere Tory government. Wythenshawe and Sale East, the highest number of bedroom taxes in the country, 3,000 families affected. A hard Brexit that will affect jobs at Manchester Airport, jobs at our hospital. There is an alternative, and this man is the alternative. Please put your hands together for the leader of the Labour movement and the next Prime Minister of the United Kingdom and Northern Ireland, Jeremy Corbyn.
Thanks, Mike. I love the sign up here. Direction Mike Cain. Vote Mike Cain, is that agreed? Yeah. Re-elect Mike. He's doing a fantastic job representing the community in the area and speaking up with real knowledge and authority. It's Mike and MPs like Mike in the next Parliament with a Labour majority that will make a big difference to the lives of an awful lot of people all around this country. This election on June the 8th is about our future, the future of all of us. Do we want to live in a country where 6 million people earn less than the living wage? No. Where 1 million are on 0 hours contracts, not knowing what they're going to earn from one week to the other, or almost from one day to the other? No. They wake up every morning and stare at the mobile phone and see if they've got a text message offering them some work for that day. This is the 21st century in the 5th richest country in the world. We can do better than that. And then you look at the situation facing many of our schools around the country. The amount of money per pupil available for each school, the vast majority across the whole country, is being cut. What kind of message is that to our children growing up in modern Britain, when their school is told, solve your funding crisis by having a collection amongst the parents? Well, that might work well if you've got a lot of wealthy parents. 5 years down the line, 5 years of big donations from wealthy parents, you've probably got a very well-funded school. 5 years down the line, in a school that isn't in a wealthy area, that doesn't have wealthy parents, what have you got? Fewer teachers, fewer teaching assistants, less staff, less books, less subjects being taught. That is no way to run an education system. We will properly fund our schools. And we will make sure that all our children in primary school get a school meal every day together. No stigma attached, whether it's free or not, because it will be free for all children, because I believe all children deserve to be properly fed and need that good, nutritious meal in the middle of the day, which also gives them a message about doing something together. That is very important. And then you look at other aspects of people's lives. Mike has talked about housing, and he's spoken about housing in Parliament. Is it right that in 21st century Britain there are thousands sleeping on the streets of our cities every night? No. Is it right that so many children are growing up in insecure private rented accommodation, not knowing how long they're going to be there, might get moved on, might even have to change school as a result? Surely to goodness, the whole history of our party and our movement was one of providing secure housing for all. A Labour government is absolutely determined that we will build 1 million homes in 5 years, half of which will be council and social rental, with that guarantee of decent housing. And in our health service, there is a crisis. There's like a winter crisis that goes on January, February, March, all the way through to the next December, because there is a social care problem where many, often frail, very dependent elderly, cannot leave hospital because there isn't a bed available for them in a social care facility of any sort. It's not their fault. They feel bad about it. They're not in the right place. It costs a lot of money, and the hospital is not performing efficiently. So it's very easy for Theresa May to blame GPs, to blame just about anybody else, to blame bad weather, and also to blame people for getting ill. Sorry, the issue is our National Health Service needs the resources in order to end the queues at A&E, to end the idea of corridor nurses looking after people who cannot be allocated a bed. These are not complicated issues. And so we address all of this in a very serious way. Every offer we've made so far is absolutely clearly funded by taking a tax from those that have the broadest shoulders and giving it to those that need it most. And so in our whole economic strategy for this country, it is about an investment-led economy, it is about a national investment bank, it is about sharing out the investment fairly across the country. So it doesn't all go to London and the South East, it goes to the North East, the North West, East Midlands, Scotland and Wales, so that there is that same opportunity for developing infrastructure. The tram system in Manchester is fantastic. The bus system needs a lot of attending to and a lot of regulation. And we need a government that's prepared to make sure that every region in the country is properly dealt with. People say to me, all this is going to cost a lot of money. I'll tell you what costs a lot of money. Poverty, injustice, inequality loses for all of us. A child who underachieves in school doesn't become the engineer, doesn't become the doctor, doesn't become the teacher. We all lose when a talented child is held back through poverty and lack of funding of their education system, just as much as their health service. And I'll come on to issues about rights in our society and abuse and discrimination, which are obviously totally wrong in any and every circumstance. But the point I'm trying to make is this: that if we invest in good quality housing all across the country, there's a virtuous circle. Jobs in the construction industry, jobs in the supply chain, better housed people, more successful society and economy. That is the kind of Britain I want to live in. I think it's the kind of Britain you all want to live in. So when Theresa May goes to Brussels and threatens them with setting up a tax haven on the shores of Europe, I say this: we will negotiate seriously, intelligently and sensibly for market access to Europe, so we protect our industries and jobs in Britain and protect the Working Time Directive and the other anti-discrimination measures that we've inherited through EU membership. It seems to me that our proposal, our system, our ideas are ones that will benefit the vast majority of people in this country. But we live in a society that is deeply unequal. The Sunday Times Rich List came out last Sunday. What a document, wow. Apart from the members of it who donated money to the Tory party, I can't imagine why they would do that, but they're obviously very generous people, and they know a worthy cause when they see one. It also reveals is that over the past year, the super rich have, their income and their benefits and their wealth has grown by 14% in 1 year. Just imagine if health workers put in for a 14% pay rise, what the papers would say about it. So, I just simply say to you this: we have a great deal of wealth in this country. We have a great deal of inequality in this country. The way you deal with that is a fair system of taxation, which means they cannot put their money into tax havens. There cannot be tax avoidance and tax evasion. Instead, that money is invested in services for all. If we don't do that, if we go in the other direction, as a country, we become more and more unequal. As a country, we walk by on the other side. It's a kind of moral question, really. Individually, we don't walk by on the other side when we see somebody having a hard time. We go and help them. We go and help them if they're going through a mental health crisis or they've had an accident. We reach out to people. That's a normal human instinct. So why, as an act of public policy, do we accept food banks? Do we accept homelessness? Do we accept this degree of poverty and inequality? I want us to have a government that says its function, its purpose, its very idea is opportunities for everybody, whatever the postcode where they were born. Opportunities for every young person and a society that, yes, protects the pension through the triple lock mechanism, does not shortchange what's known as the WASPy women for the way they've been treated, but instead a government that protects that, but also promotes the idea of respect for the elderly in our society who are often very, very isolated. It's the sense of community that we need to be putting forward. So there are many things that will be out in our manifesto next week. But I say this to you. This election offers a choice between a Tory government that has shortchanged our public services, given greater burdens to the poorest, made them pay the price for the banking crisis of 2008, whilst at the same time the very richest and the very biggest corporations are being given tax cuts, tax holidays, handouts and benefits all the time. We can't afford this level of inequality if we're to have justice within our society. And so our purpose is offering an alternative in this election. We've got 4 weeks to do it. 4 weeks, 30 days to get out there and get that message. Get that message across, that it doesn't have to be like this. So at the end of 5 years, thank you very much, at the end of 5 years, there will be better housing, better healthcare and more opportunities for our young people. So, the banners are up here, uniting the generations, dignity in social care. Mike Caine's got the most banners by a long way. He well deserves them. But it's about all of us bringing all those causes together of hopes of people, job security and real security within our society. That is what the Labour offer is about. This is the second stop on our bus tour of the whole country. We've got about 200 more to go. Maybe more. We're going to be everywhere. We're getting